What is the deal, YouTube? What is the deal? Welcome back to the channel. So we now know the seeding of every single playoff team that's going to be involved in this year's playoffs. We know exactly where they're seated at, and we know the games. What we're looking at right now is um, the way this thing is going to play out. We know how we know where everyone's seated at with the completion of the Packers versus the Lions game. Shout out to that man, Aaron Rodgers. One hell of a season from Aaron Rodgers. Definitely in the MVP race. I don't really have an opinion on this year's MVP race, Rookie of the Year, defensive. I know who I feel like should be the comeback player of the year. To me, that's Cam Wake for sure. But I don't really have an opinion on who I feel like should be the MVP because there's way too many people who had. The only person who I feel like shouldn't be allowed to be the MVP is Tom Brady. That's the only player I feel like shouldn't be allowed. I don't know how you can be suspended for 4 games for cheating and then come back and win an MVP. I think that would be an absolutely black eye to the NFL to allow him to be the MVP. But anyway, that's not the conversation that we're having today. Today, you see the title of the video. Today is all about my playoff predictions. Now, honestly, I'm gonna be biased as hell considering that my team is in the playoffs. So maybe I'll split this into 2 segments. Maybe I'll do one as a Dolphin fan and do a second prediction just as someone who watches football and try to get rid of any bias and just be realistic about the way I see this thing playing out. So let's start off in the AFC. This is me. These are my predictions as a Dolphin fan, as a pure Dolphin fan. Um, well, we'll start in the NFC. We have Lions versus the Seahawks. Lions are 9-7. Seahawks are 10-5. Of course, the Seahawks have a decent defense, but they have injuries in that defense, including Earl Thomas. They've had some huge injuries um, on this team. Even at one point, Russell Wilson has been injured, but I trust Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks more than I trust the Detroit Lions. So I'm gonna take the Seattle Seahawks to beat the Detroit Lions and move forward. Their next opponent is gonna be the Atlanta Falcons, since the Atlanta Falcons. Wait a minute, yeah, Atlanta Falcons will take the highest seed coming out of this. Next, you have the New York Football Giants and the Green Bay Packers. Now, this is going to be a very good game because both of these teams have been playing some damn good football down the stretch. Both of these teams have very good weapons. Both of these teams have playoff tested quarterbacks from Aaron Rodgers to Eli Manning. Um, I think that this game it's going to be in Lambeau Field. If the Giants win this game, then they'll probably end up in at least the NFC Championship game, with maybe even a shot to go to the Super Bowl. Um, but it's difficult for me to go against Aaron Rodgers in that game in Lambeau, hot as they've been. I think it's going to be a barn burner. It's going to be a shootout, but I'm going to go with the Packers to win this over the Giants. So I've got Seahawks and Packers moving forward out of the NFC. So Seahawks, Packers go to the next round. Um, all right, so now we move to the AFC. First game is Texans versus Raiders, backup versus backup, and the Raiders might have the backup to the backup, the backup to the backup to the starter playing, whereas the Texans are gonna go in there. I forget that kid's name. Of course, the big story has been Brock Osweiler getting benched. Um, hmm, I think that's gonna be a very good game. It's probably going to be the lowest rated game of any playoff game, considering who the quarterbacks are going to be. But I am going to go. I'm going to go with the Houston Texans to win this game. I'll take the Houston Texans to knock off the Oakland Raiders. Even though I really would like to see the Oakland Raiders push forward, I wish Derek Carr wasn't hurt right now. After all of those seasons of not being very good from the Raiders, and then they're able to have this good season at 12-4, and it's funny as hell that 12-4 is a 5 seed. You win 12 games and you're still the 5th seed as a wild card. That's amazing. But yeah, and the fucking Texans are 9-7 and they're the 4th seed. That makes no sense. But anyway, I'm gonna take the Texans to beat the Raiders in this game, and the Texans will move forward. They are the 4th seed, so they will go ahead and they will play the Kansas City Chiefs. Dolphins versus Steelers. Um, First game we played against the Steelers, Jay Ajayi ran for 200 yards, and we were able to shut down Antonio Brown and Bell. Of course, that was a completely different Steeler team. That offense has looked very, very hot as of late, and our defense has looked like garbage. So, with that being said, Dolphins versus Steelers, 6 seed versus 3 seed. Dolphins versus Steelers, 6 seed versus 3 seed. I am going to go. Ooh, that's tough. Now, let me share with you guys something. If you watch the Patriot game today, and you watched the way we got ended up getting beat versus that Patriot team in that game today, I thought it was very promising. And let me tell you why. Now, if you're just looking at the end result and the final score, then you probably go, okay, 30, what was it, 35-14? You probably go, man, they got wiped out. But if you paid attention to the game, you know that the Patriots went up, but we came back. We were down 14-20. It was 2 plays in that game that made it the score. The score was not didn't tell the entire story of what happened in that game. 2 plays. The Damian Williams fumble that was returned and the Julian Edelman touchdown. Without those 2 plays, this game is a tight game. So I am going to take my Dolphins to beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh. It's going to be a close game, but I think we beat the Steelers and go ahead to Foxborough for a third game. So Dolphins versus Patriots there. Texans versus Chiefs there. Seahawks versus Cowboys there. and Packers versus Falcons there. So that's where we are right now. I'm gonna check my comment section real quick, and then we will move forward. So that's all right. So let's continue moving forward. Um, of course, just to recap the way I had it, I got the Dolphins beat the Steelers and moving forward to face the Patriots. I have the Texans beating the Raiders and moving forward to play the Chiefs. I've got the Seahawks beating the Lions and moving forward to face the Cowboys. And I have the Packers over the Giants. That's the most iffy matchup right there in my mind is Packers Giants. That could go either way. But I think Aaron Rodgers and how hot he has been, I think that's going to be the deciding factor. So uh, now we are Packers Falcons. Two very hot offenses. But if you ask me and you talk to me about playoff football, we're talking about playoff football. Who do I trust, Matt Ryan or Aaron Rodgers? And it's very easy. It's Aaron Rodgers. So I'm going to take the Packers to knock off the Falcons and head to the NFC Championship game. Over here, we have the Cowboys versus the Seattle Seahawks. Youth with the Cowboys, veteran leadership with the Seattle Seahawks. It's another tough one. Seattle versus Cowboys. Youth, veteran, youth, veteran, playing at Cowboy Stadium, veteran, Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott. The run game of the Cowboys is probably not going to be there. I can see Seattle taking the run game and stopping Ezekiel Elliott and making the Cowboys beat them with Dak Prescott. But at the same time, Seattle's banged up. No Earl Thomas. Real tough one. But I'm going to take the Seahawks over the Cowboys, which sets up a big matchup between Seattle and the Packers. Over here, we have Chiefs versus Texans. I don't even need to think about that one. I'm going with the Chiefs and Alex Smith over the Texans. Dolphins versus Patriots. Now, oh boy. Oh man, I want to be a homer so bad. It's in Foxborough. The first time and let me say this real quick. Like, I see people telling me that Matt Moore is not a playoff quarterback, and they're asking for Tannehill because he is a what? What are you talking about? When has Tannehill led this team to a playoffs? You understand, in 2014, we needed to win 2 games to get to the playoffs, and we lost 3 out of 4. The closest game that we've had to a playoff game this season was against the Baltimore Ravens, and we scored 6 points in the third quarter. Our offense did nothing the entire, at the very least, I know that Matt Moore is going to give us a chance. If you watch the game today, Matt Moore gave us a chance. 2 plays is what cost it. If you go back to that Baltimore Raven game, we had the ball with 2 minutes left to go in the second quarter. We ran 3 plays and gave Baltimore the ball right back, and they drove down the field and kicked the field goal. Today, against a better defense, well, you know what? I can't say better defense. Against a better coaching staff, Matt Moore drove us down the field and scored a touchdown. Now, albeit the kicker slipped and gave the Patriots the ball and they missed the field goal, but Matt Moore put us on the board, came out of the locker room for the halftime, drove us back down the field, and gave us another score when the defense was playing like shit and we were down 20-0. And that game turned into a 20-14 game. That would have been an ass whooping if that was Ryan Tannehill. Tell me I'm lying. We've seen it this year. Anyway, I digress. Dolphins, Patriots. Patriots 14-2. I think we played them tough. To me, it was just about 2 plays. I didn't want us to play in that game at all, to be honest with you. I would have been very happy if we would have rested our starters. I did hear Jay Ajayi went to the locker room for x-rays, but he's okay. So I'm happy with that. No big injuries. We go in as healthy as we possibly could. Wish we could get some pieces back for this game because it's going to be huge. But Dolphins versus Patriots, Matt Moore versus Tom Brady in Foxborough. All right, I'm going to do this. The Homer side of me, the Dolphin fan of me, says the Dolphins win this game. We beat the Patriots in Foxborough. We head to the AFC Championship game. The realistic side of me, just being an NFL fan, no bias, no fan, says the Patriots win this game. But fuck it. I say we win and we beat the Patriots in Foxborough. We head to the AFC Championship game. Dolphins versus Chiefs, AFC Championship game. Right? Seahawks versus the Packers, NFC Championship game. I'm going to leave it right here. I will make my AFC and you know what? Yeah, I'll make my AFC and NFC champions and my Super Bowl winners. Wait a minute. What did I title this video? I forget. Shit. I got the video titled Who Wins the Super Bowl? And I'm going to stop. All right. So let's continue, I guess. We will continue here. All right. So we have the Dolphins versus the Chiefs in the AFC. And we have the Seahawks versus the Packers. Seahawks versus Packers. If you remember a few years back, the Seahawks were getting destroyed. I think Russell Wilson threw like 4 interceptions in that game. And they were barely able to make it out of there. Seahawks are the 3rd seed. Packers are the 4th seed. I think the Packer offense is going to put up more points than the Seattle defense can deal with in this game. So I am taking the Green Bay Packers to the Super Bowl. So coming out of the NFC, I have the Green Bay Packers going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Right? In the AFC side, in the AFC Championship game, I have the Dolphins, who are the 6th seed, versus the 2 seed, who are the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a tough game, and this might be the toughest game in the playoffs, considering the Kansas City Chief offense with Kelsey and Tyreek Hill and all of those weapons that they have might be just that's tough to say. I mean, any team with Brady quarterbacking is a tough team. But the speed of that Kansas City Chief team is going to be a handful. So, Dolphins versus Chiefs. What will it come down to? For me to do this, I need to know the stats on the Kansas City Chief team. Because in order for the Dolphins to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, it has to happen one way. Kansas City right now, as we speak, Kansas City is, as we speak right now, the Kansas City Chiefs Kansas City is one of the worst rush defenses in the NFL. The 26th in the NFL. In order for the Dolphins to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, we're going to have to run against this team and keep that explosive offense sitting on the sideline. It can be done. So, Dolphins Chiefs AFC Championship game. It will be an absolute shootout. It has to be, because neither defense is great. Both defenses have very opportunistic secondaries. Our secondary has been surprisingly opportunistic, but I think what is going to be the biggest issue is going to be a guy like Travis Kelsey working in the middle of the field. See, God damn it. See, this it's hard for me um to say we're gonna lose unless I just flat out want us to lose. Like against the Patriots today, I absolutely wanted us to lose. I wanted us to bench our starters. I say we beat the Kansas City Chiefs here. I say Jay Ajayi has over Jay Ajayi has about 150 yards in this game. The Chief offense does well, but in the end, we're able to etch out and defeat the Kansas City Chiefs. So my AFC Super Bowl team is going to be the Miami Dolphins. right? Now, on the other side, of course, I have the Green Bay Packers coming out. It will be Green Bay versus the Dolphins AFC Championship game. Aaron Rodgers versus our defense. Let me check my comment section for a moment here, and we'll finish this up. We don't play them though. Oh my God. Someone said something. Someone. It's annoying as hell to have people tell me that we wouldn't be in the playoffs if it wasn't for Ryan Tannehill. Like, that shit is beyond annoying. It is beyond annoying knowing that before we established a running game, we were damn near beat by the Cleveland Browns. We should have been 0-5. Cleveland Browns missed about 2 or 3 field goals, and we barely won. We started winning football games when we found a running game. The offense started running better when the defense had a running game to worry about. When the defense had to start sticking 8 in the box to try to stop the emerging running game of Jay Ajayi that just had ran for 500 yards in 3 games. Before that point, we were ass. 1-4, our quarterback had threw 5 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. The following 3 games, we won 3 games in a row. Our quarterback threw 2 touchdowns. What is people talking about? The reason why we're here? What do you mean? Before we found a running game, we wasn't doing shit. We should have been 0-5. We are where we are right now because we established and found a running game. Know what I mean? We just beat the Buffalo Bills. Why? Because we found a running game. Jay Ajayi went off and found a running game. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else the hell to say. But anyway, back to the that shit irks. Well, he got us where we. Why? How? How do you get us where we are throwing 5 touchdowns and 6 interceptions and we go 1-4? How the fuck do you get us where we are when we started winning? We won 3 games and you threw 2 touchdowns. And we ran for 500 yards in 3 games. How? How, Sway? You ain't got all the answers, Sway. Anyway, all right. So the Dolphins versus the Packers. Dolphins versus Packers in this Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers has been playing great football, but we're hot right now. 2 10-6 football teams. In this Super Bowl, Ryan Tannehill is healthy. Adam Gase sticks Ryan Tannehill back into the starting lineup because he is a starter. And Ryan Tannehill starts for us in the Super Bowl versus the Packers. The Packers offense comes out and they put up 14 points in the first half. Our offense does not answer. Through the entire first half, we scored no points. It's not far-fetched because we do it a lot. By the third quarter, they're up 20 to, let's say 20-7. We score our first points in the third quarter. At that point, Ryan Tannehill's injury is re-aggravated. He has to sit down. Matt Moore comes off the bench in the third quarter with us down 20-7, leads us down the field. We score, and the game is now 20-14 going into the fourth quarter of the game. Fourth quarter, 20-14. Aaron Rodgers in the fourth quarter throws an interception. It's taken by Tony Lippett, and we have the ball driving down the field in the fourth quarter. 2014 game. Kenny Stills drops a wide open pass that could give us a first down. He drops it. I sound like a goddamn storyteller here. I'm predicting like play-by-play and shit. So we have to punt the ball back to Aaron Rodgers. He goes down the field, and they get 3. It's 23-14 with about, let's say, 7 minutes. At that point, Matt Moore drives us down the field, and we score. 21-23. 4 minutes left to go in the game. And all the Packers need is a couple first downs, and this game is pretty much said and done. They get 1 first down. The clock winds down to 2 minutes. 2 minutes left. Defense needs to stop. They stop them on first down, call a timeout. Stop them on second down, call a timeout. Minute 40 seconds left to go in the game. Stop them on third down, call a timeout. Green Bay brings their punt team on the field, and guess who's coming? Guess who's back to run back the kick? Jarvis Landry is back to return the kick. Jarvis Landry gets the ball, I would say, at about the 30-yard line. He makes a move, breaks a couple tackles, and gets the ball across the 50-yard line to about the 40. Remember, the score is 20-23 at this point. A minute and 17 seconds left to go in the game. First carry is Jay Ajayi run for about 7 yards. Clocks continue to roll. Matt Moore looks up and drops a perfect dime to Kenny Stills. That gets us all the way down inside of the Green Bay 10-yard line. With about 30 seconds left to go, we come up, spike the ball, and with 30 seconds left to go, first down is incomplete. Second down is incomplete. Third down, Matt Moore hits Jarvis Landry on the 2-yard line Jarvis Landry breaks a tackle, dives for the end zone, hits the pylon, and the Dolphins walk away with the Super Bowl championship, knocking off the Green Bay Packers. Oh man, that is a dream goddamn scenario right there. That is a dream scenario. So now with I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna do my other one tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Give myself an opportunity to actually, you know, kind of dive in more and kind of look more in depth on the stats, and we'll break it down. We'll do an unbiased prediction from start to finish again. But in this prediction right here, I have the Dolphins knocking off the Green Bay Packers 27-23 to win the Super Bowl for 2017. It is 1 o'clock. I will talk to you guys next time. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Peace.